You know, I was always comparing it to India. I was like, oh, India's not like this. Oh, the people are more friendly in India. But until you really learn the culture that you're in, you know, I thought that the Cambodian people didn't smile that much. Well, they smile all the time, but they won't probably approach you and smile or ask you something until you smile at them. So you got to do it first. And then they're just like, oh, yeah, this guy's friendly. Yeah, they're kind of intimidated by us, I think, sometimes. And they're like, oh, the foreigners, you know, they're kind of grumpy or whatever. Okay, so you get a prize too. What B, D, or E? Huh? C's already been taken, but... Okay, there you go.
Okay, now we got, I think we're...
Okay, in back of you, yep.
Do you raise your own food?
No, because I have my own herb garden, but that's about it, because I don't want chickens, I don't want cows, I don't want anything that's alive, because I have enough to do. And to take, yes, I like to go to the market like almost every day, because I don't go like you go to the grocery store to Costco. I mean, I'll go to the grocery store about once, maybe every 6 weeks or 2 months, and because we don't have one there, and so we have the market, and I go and buy, you know, my rice, I buy beef, I could buy pork, I could buy fish, lots of fish, and vegetables and fruits. That's basically, I don't eat hardly anything that is frozen or in a can. Yeah, everything's pretty much fresh, yeah. I mean, I will buy a bag of Doritos if I go down to the city. Yeah, once in a while. Yeah.
We could probably take one more question. I know we're running over time.
Okay.
But there's no
Here's your prize.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Yes, Joy.
Did you know the languages, the two languages that you speak before you got there? Or is this something you learned after you were there?
When I went to India, I did not know the language at all, obviously. So that language that I learned in India, it's spoken by 50 million people, but most people have never heard of it, you know. So it's because India has 1.3 billion people there, you know. So I just learned that on my own after I got there. I never had any classes or any language school or anything. I just kind of learned it with the people and learned how to read and write, because it's a different alphabet, you know. And then when I went to Cambodia, I saw some similarities between, and I'm going, the alphabet looks the same. There's a series of five, you know, alphabets. And they all sort of had the same sound. I'm thinking, where did that come from? Well, the Khmer, they took their alphabet from India. And because there was Hindu missionaries coming over from 1,200 years ago, Indians came over, and that's who built Angkor Wat, were the Hindus. So they brought their alphabet because Cambodia didn't have a written alphabet, and then they adapted it. So I learned that. I went to language school for about a year and a half, and I had tutors, and I was just always out. I was out talking to anybody who would talk to me, you know, going to the market, going to the riverfront, talking with monks, talking with anybody who would talk to me. Yeah.
There is a fair amount of Muslim in that country, right?
There's not a fair amount, but there's about, sorry, I'm just going to run this over to you. It's your prize. That's the last prize I have, so. What's that, Richie?
I know Tom and Debley, they were working down around the water in the ocean, and a lot of people they were communicating with were Muslim fishermen.
Yes, there's a Cham community there.
Chams, right.
The Cham are in down south, and they're in the Phnom Penh area, and they're also the guy that's the contractor for our all of our work there, the new dorm building that we did, the wall, all the improvements, everything that we do. He's a Muslim guy. He's a Cham guy. He is the best worker. He's the one who built my house. If it's not done right, he'll just tell him, just redo that. You know, it's not straight. He'll just say, oh, you have to redo that. So everything's built solid. I think my house could be a bunker during a nuclear war almost. It's so solid. Yeah.
Okay. Where are we, everyone? Beg pardon, go ahead.
Can we hear you say something in the languages that
Oh,
you know?
speak something in Cambodia.
In Cambodian. All right, I'll just give you the greeting. ជំរាបសួរបងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាខ្ញុំសប្បាយណាស់ដែលខ្ញុំបានមកទីនេះដើម្បីចូលរួមនៅក្នុងប្រកបគ្នារបស់បងប្អូនទាំងអស់គ្នាអរគុណច្រើន Yeah, but don't ask me what I said. I said, hey, how's it going? I'm glad to be here worshiping with you today. Okay, and then Kelly, did you have something?
Earlier you had mentioned about landmines. Is that still a threat today, or have they pretty much swept throughout the country?
No, yeah, there's still a few around, but they did a lot of demining. There was like 2 big demining organizations that came in. Prairie Hill was very heavily mined because it was one of the last strongholds of the Khmer Rouge. And during I think it was 99 that they finally, the Khmer Rouge finally stopped their guerrilla warfare, and they offered them amnesty, and they laid down their arms or whatever. And so, I mean, for like 18 years, they were fighting in the jungles, you know. And so when I went in 2000, there were landmine signs all over, and a lot of places hadn't even been, like, you know, figured out yet. So that, like, when I went to a temple that was about, well, now it's about 40 minutes from my house, but before it was like a whole day's ride on the big dirt bike. We get there, my friend Jeff and I, we get there, and we're climbing on all this hidden temple in the jungle, all these stones and parts of it. You know, you've seen the Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever, where they, or Tomb Raiders or something, where they have all the old temple with jungle growing up, and we're jumping all over and running all over that place. And then a year later, I went back. The whole area was like had red landmine signs around it. I'm going, wow, the Lord was really with us, I'll tell you. So no, there's hardly any left, but once in a while, you'll hear. Yes, in the back.
Are you ever in danger for your belief as a Christian?
You ever in danger for being a Christian?
No. The Cambodian people are very, yeah, praise God, yeah. The Cambodian people are very gentle, very, they have respect for everybody, but they also, when they're children, now when the students here, some of these students here that from the Plaprai, I've been, some of these students here, when they go home, they've accepted Christ. They got baptized. Actually, we actually have them ask their parents' permission before they get baptized, because we don't want to baptize them without their parents' permission, you know. So, I mean, but if they decide to follow Jesus and they get baptized, they'll have persecution from their family members, from their neighbors. Things like, you're betraying our religion, you're betraying our ancestors who we worship, and if we don't honor our ancestors by bringing these offerings and, you know, doing chants and all this stuff, then our ancestors won't be able to, they'll become ghosts or whatever. They have the spirit Cambodia is not really, the religion is not really pure Buddhism. It's more folk Buddhism or animism. So all these spirits, they're deathly afraid. They live in fear of spirits. and fear of curses and the evil eye and all these different things. So for us, we never see that. But for them, they get persecuted when they go back home. Yeah, thank you.
I
Yep.
appreciate you coming and visiting with us. I know you have more travel to go yet before you go back. When do you go back to Cambodia?
I go back in July 9th. I fly out of Chicago. So we have a global conference in July that I have to go back and participate in. We're going to do that in a neighboring country, and which is nice for me because I don't have to fly too far, and be just getting over jet lag as it is. So, so I wasn't able to stay as long as I usually do this time. But no, I appreciate it, Richie, and I just love the folks here at Creve Coeur, and this morning just meeting people and worshiping with you. I thought this is a nice way to do it, have an interview rather than me just getting up here and giving you my spiel, and then, I thought let's get people involved here.
Rhonda, are you guys going to come back up?
Praise God. Hakun John, Hakun. Okay, let's go.
Joel,
Yes.
I sit down on the mic. That's the one word I remember in Khmer. It means thank you. But I kind of had to cheat and Google it. I was asking Kelly, how do you say thank you? I remember we said it a lot, but I can't remember how to say it. So, Akun. Kelly and I went several years ago, and took our daughter Laura. And there were a couple things that stood out to me from when we were there. You mentioned the driving, and we saw the tractor pulling the plow or whatever, the trailer with the no lights. We saw the cows. Probably the thing that disturbed me the most was when you have to stop and wait 10 to 15 minutes for the snake to cross the road. Not a fan. We went to one of the Cham villages with Tom and Debbie, and one of the things that stood out to me was here in the United States, even our small houses are huge. They would live in like a little 2 to 3 room hut where it's like, here's your sleeping quarters, here's your kitchen, you might have like a little front porch, and there might be 20 to 30 people living in this space. No running water in the house. There's a huge vat out back that collects the rainwater, and they go out there, and that's where they take their baths. And then the other thing that I remember from that village was because Laura and I are so fair-complected, very pale. We obviously don't spend a lot of time in the sun, and when we do, we just turn red. All of the little girls wanted to keep rubbing our face and our hands because, oh, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, because that meant that we didn't have to go outside to work. We were indoor people, and to them, that was just amazing, and yeah. The thing that broke my heart, sex trafficking is a huge thing in Cambodia. And I'm not talking like 20 and 30-year-old women. I'm talking about like 8 and 10-year-old girls. And just as a mother, that just broke my heart because you could see, we just knew, because we had been warned ahead of time. When we were flying on the plane from here in the United States to Cambodia, you could tell some of the people who were going there for that very reason, and it just hurt. And then to see them for blocks along the streets by the airports at night, because most flights out of Cambodia leave around midnight. So you go late at night, and you can just see all of them standing there just waiting for someone. Hurt my heart. So thank you, Akun, for all the work you do. And for those of us here, prayer is a very powerful thing. So please remember that. You may not be able to go to Cambodia, but you can still pray. So, will you please stand and join us in our invitation song? Thank you so much for joining us today. Joel, thank you so much. I hope I'm not speaking too much for you, but I'm sure that you would appreciate any other people who have questions that they would ask to be able to approach him. It's not like if you didn't do it, you can't ask, okay? So, and don't forget he has a table back here where you can sign up for his newsletter and such. So thank you so much. Let's sing our closing song.